All right, so so the goal, right? This is the goal of a business, right? The goal of a business is to become an investor. So you have to look at this like a game. And when I first saw this, I want to say it was probably like 2009 or 2010. And when somebody mapped this out for me, it really like kind of lit a fire under my ass. And I saw myself as being kind of like a hybrid between these two things at the Fortune 100 company that I was at. It was kind of like an entrepreneurship type of a position, and while I had a lot of flexibility, I kind of had my own practice. I still was an employee, and I felt, as an entrepreneur, I didn't really realize that was what I was at that time. I just felt like I really wanted to be an actual business owner, and when I understood this, it kind of changed the way I think about business. And so I wanted to make this video so you can kind of like think a little bit differently about your business. And I'm going to put this in the context of sort of a micro gym, sort of studio, like yoga studio type of space. Basically, most of us start off as an employee of some sort, right? And what ends up happening is we get this sort of like entrepreneurial bug of some sort, like that we need to go kind of do our own thing. And some people can be very, very successful here as a sole proprietor, right? My brother is very successful as a sole proprietor. He's a certified financial planner on Cape Cod, so he has a very good business. But with him, he is the business, right? So he's a sole proprietor, and that business only works if he's the one that's helping guide people to make good financial decisions. So you can run a very, very successful practice on your own. A lot of accountants do that. A lot of certified financial planners do that. That's sort of the flexibility and the freedom to sort of set your own path and have a very good career. You can do that right in that type of a business. And so really what we see is that we kind of go through this path. Some stop there, right? But some of us end up here. And when you're up here, now at this point, you have employees, right? So you could still, even though you have employees, that doesn't mean you're not doing work. So in this case, the context would be like somebody who started a business. So let's say a personal trainer became, personal trainer decided to open a CrossFit gym, or somebody from a totally different industry said, I'm going to quit my job and become I'm going to open up a studio of some sort, right? So, but they're doing the work. They're coaching yoga classes. They're coaching CrossFit classes. They're coaching group fitness classes, right? They're doing one-on-one personal training. So they're doing the work, right? Then they graduate over to here where they like start having some employees. Now you start to have an actual business. In this case, you might still be doing some work, right? You might be still training people or coaching classes, but now it's starting to be a situation where you're working more on the business, dealing with things like payroll and dealing with things like customer acquisition, marketing, sales, all that sort of stuff. Like now that's starting to fall on your shoulders. But a lot of times what we find is that in this spot, so much needs to get done in order to make this thing be an actual business. That a lot of people get stuck and bogged down in here, and sometimes get pushed back into this zone, right? Or even sometimes get pushed back right into being an employee, because this is really where things start to get tough. Because as we start getting employees, we now have responsibility to help make sure that they have a job, and there's a lot of other pieces that have to go into this. So you need to be working more on the business rather than inside the business, right? You want to be working on the business rather than in the business. And so this is where we have to develop leadership skills. We need to we need to manage employees a certain way. We need to have employees set up a certain way. We need to, there's so much that goes into building a team, making sure that you have the right employees with the right compensation, working together in the right way in order to achieve the desired outcome. Knowing which firm to work with, or deciding like, okay, I'm gonna be the marketing person and the business owner and the CFO, all of that stuff, right? Or saying, okay, well, I get it that it makes sense to hire a coach. I get it that it makes sense to hire an operations manager. I get it that it makes sense to hire a salesperson. I get it that it makes sense to hire the best marketing firm that I can hire, right? In order to make sure that we continually have customers, or the best overall comprehensive franchise alternative firm that makes sure that all these business issues are actually solved for me very, very fast. I don't have to go through all the pitfalls. So you hire somebody like that. That's what builds your business up to a point where you're, as the business owner, earning profit. And once you get to that place of you're earning profit, and you don't have to be there at all, and you have managers in place that you can just communicate with one manager, you're just a shareholder, right? And so if you put this in the context of like a major company, and you own a share of a major company, you're just an investor. Does that make sense? So when you get to the point where you have everything dialed in, and you become now you just become a shareholder, right? That's how you move down to the investor. So if you look at what all successful people do, all big businesses do, is they don't ever even look at considering anything on this side, right? They look at it and they say, I'm gonna build something here, get to here as fast as I can. And once you're here, that's where you can build leverage. But what I see too much is people are here and they think, okay, I need to open up another location, or I need to build another business, or I need to, or I need to start helping other businesses. Well, if you're not already here, you're not going to be able to do anything different, because you don't yet have the skill to get here. So you have to have that skill to get here. And so what we do at Ironclad is we bring you through these processes, hopefully starting here, right through here as fast as we can. And by doing that, we can help leverage everyone's growth, and get your business to a point where it has a real valuation. So you're actually having a real valuation, right? Not like I have X amount of members, so therefore my gym is worth X. That's not a real valuation, right? You can get real valuations by building it this way, especially if you have a management company supporting that business. So at Ironclad, we're a management company that we act in the same capacity as a franchisor, without all the red tape and nonsense of the franchise system. We only get paid when we get customers to show up, and we built it that way because we know that customers are the lifeblood of the business, and all of the other things that we can teach you to do to make sure your business runs well. I just believe that has to come. Like if we're gonna get you customers and you can't run the business well, you're not gonna be a customer for very long, right? So we gotta make sure that you're running the business well also. And by doing that, by having that relationship with us, creates even higher value if you actually go sell your business. Because if you wanna sell your business, the only people that are really gonna pay real money for your business are investors. That's it. Like, somebody's not gonna pay real money for your business to come be a manager and work 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. They're definitely not gonna buy your business to come coach, right? That is not gonna happen. They're not gonna, they might get a loan from their uncle or their dad or their brother or something like that for 50 grand or 70 grand or something along those lines. You do seller financing for something minimal. That's what somebody who's actually going to work in the business is going to do, right? But an investor who's going to pay like $500,000 or so or more for something, they don't want to work in the business. They want to know that there is a management system in place that if you sell the business to them, that they don't actually have to work, right? So the investor does not want to work. So if I'm an investor and I want to invest, I want to come buy your business, I don't want to work in your business. I want that business to just make me money without me working. The only way I can do that is if there's a management company making sure that that business is working correctly, right? And so that's where Ironclad steps in. We step in, make sure that that business is working correctly, and the new investor who buys into the business, if you ever did want to sell, and in reality, if you build this gym the right way, I mean, it should be an amazing community. Like, we don't want to encourage anybody to sell it. It should literally be the type of thing where you're like, man, this thing's just giving me so much passive cash that I don't want to sell this thing. That's how you know you built it right. But let's just say you did want to sell it. That new owner wants to know that when you're not there, they don't want the business to go down. They're not going to pay $500,000 and then you walk away and then the business goes away. That's just not what smart people do, especially smart investors who've been around the block. Okay? So we want to get you there, right? We want to get you there so that you're able to actually like start making other deals and be able to potentially buy other gyms or other whatever you want to buy, right? Buy property, buy real estate, whatever it is you want to do. Invest in the market, like go to get a CFP and have a good stock portfolio built or something like that, right? But this is the fastest way to get yourself to act as an investor, right? Where you're making investor dollars, that's passive money as a result of the capital that you put in, right? So the only way that's going to happen is with a management company. So we're going to bring you through this process as fast as we can, and in a way that's going to make it a fun ride for everybody. All right. So if you want to really fast track this whole process and you're the type of person that you get it that in order for the business to have real value, you have to be operating from a place where you're operating off of profit and there's a team in place running it. If you're that type of person that gets that, then we would love to talk to you. Just make sure you schedule a call with us, and I'll look forward to seeing you on that call.